They're here. They're all... okay, big moment. This is Dr. Carl Mosley, Professor of Archaeology at Greymore University. I am on the western coast of Chile in an estate previously owned by business magnate Angus Taylor from the 1600s. And if I'm right, and I'm almost certain I am in the founder's chamber of the lost City of Leone. I guess a quick recap would be best. The City of Leone has been sought after since the late 1600s, when it was officially considered lost. The legend says that the 5 points of a star came together to form this incredible city, where the world's greatest craftsmen, engineers, artists, and even hunters had gathered and made a fine city. Though all of these citizens were necessary for its survival, one of the star's points sealed the success of the city upon its creation. It brought with it an idol the size of any man to the city's center. It exuded supernatural power, energy, invigorating its citizens to see its success. But after a few years, the energy shifted. Certain citizens wanted the power all to themselves. The city turned to war, and the 5 points returned to the city's origin to think of a plan for its future. But what it came back with was not enough to stop the negative energy. With no other choice, the people fled the city, leaving behind everything they had built. Years later, a small party of citizens returned to the city to begin again. But all they found was overgrown vegetation. No buildings, no roads, no sign that anything had ever been there. They knew this could not be true, because the exact location of the city was given to them in coordinates that they followed on their first journey, and now the second. With no other possible explanation, for the time, they concluded that the supernatural idol had altered their memories, that their city was still out there somewhere. Somewhere they had forgotten. A nice little legend, and one that has enraptured generations of explorers and archaeologists, such as myself, but everyone else has been searching for the city itself. And for 400 years, no one's been able to find it. That's why I took a different approach. Examining it from all the available textbooks and records, the legend is fairly straightforward. Its metaphors are basic. The 5 points of a star clearly meant 5 people, 5 founders. Throughout history, many people of importance and even some of non-importance have been presented as possible founders, but the most likely candidates are John Bastien, Angus Taylor, Oliver Timmett, Noah Brand, and Luke Collins. Businessmen of major fame. They're the most likely candidates due to their massive wealth and resources, their connections to each other in many public business dealings, and how much of their lives seems unaccounted for. Months and years that have no record as to where exactly they were. looking at the city's origin, talked about the legend, recognizing that less as a metaphor and more as a specific place, it could be easy to mistake the origin as the first stone of the city, or the building created with it. But I believe, and it looks like I'm right, that the origin was a location outside of the city, where the city was first drafted onto paper. I chose this as the first location to look through because all of the other founders had public estates, mansions that are still in their families today or sold off to others. But this was, as I said before, owned by Angus Taylor. It was a hideaway estate. Not all of his business dealings were on the level. Whenever his illegal activities attracted too much attention to himself, this is where he would hide out for a few months until things calmed down. Looking through the records today, this place and who owned it aren't exactly public knowledge, but with enough research and reading between the lines, it was possible to pinpoint its location and owner. Being that, at the time, this place was unknown to anyone outside of Angus's closest confidants, this is likely where the founders planned and made their architectural drawings for the city. And they're here. Yes, they're all here. Holy shit, this is amazing! Keep it together for the camera. But they're here! They're all here. Why are they here? They would have come up with a plan and returned to the city. What happened here? Okay. There isn't much left of them. They've been here since the 1600s. Exposed to a lot of elements. Probably animals. I guess it makes sense there wouldn't be much left of them. You are kindly invited to the estate of Angus Taylor on behalf of John Bastien. A meeting that is to happen on October 12th, 1611. To return to where this all started on more even terms. It is time for us to end this petty squabbling and bring our city together again. Leone, for now and forever. Okay, alright. Okay, so, all of you have the same letter in front of you, except for, this guy. On behalf of John Bastien. So, you must be Bastien. Oliver Timmett. Angus Taylor. Luke Collins. And Noah Brand. So, all the theorized fun. Luke Collins, 1586 to No end date. This should help. August 17th, 1590. Today I met with... no. January 14th, 1594. Had to fix... No. Here we are. August 16th, 1595. Noah Brand, my beloved. Wait. These two were in a relationship? History books missed that one. They'll need to be updated. Uh, 1598, 1600, 1603, 1605. Wait. July 9th, 1605. Jean Bastien approached me today to pitch a new business venture. I must admit, after our last failed partnership, I was not confident I would want to do business with him again. But he was persistent in that this was nothing like I'd ever heard from him before. And he was right. He proposed the idea of building a city, hidden away from prying, scheming, and competitive eyes. One in which we could gather the greatest minds of our age and make it as we saw fit. It was a good pitch, but even during it I had concerns. I asked Bastien what the purpose, what the benefit of a hidden city would be, and Bastien had his answer ready. He said the city would only be hidden until it was completed and stabilized. Once we can hold our own in terms of a competitive market, he will begin to let others know. The placement and expertise will make this city the new Silk Road. By then, I wasn't fully sold on it, but I admit I liked the idea. I asked Bastien why he didn't just make the city himself. Between the two of us, Bastien is clearly way ahead of me on riches and resources. His are nearly limitless. Why would he need me? He shuffled a bit, but answered. He admitted that he's already started on construction and gotten a good way into it. But even his resources have begun to run low. He cannot finish the city on his own. He needs others' resources and is willing to cut me in at an even rate. Others, he said. I asked Bastien if he's offered this to anyone else, and he gave me a circular answer. I pressed him, but he was clearly uneasy answering this question. A greater sign that I needed to know. He said he has offered the same deal to two others, Oliver Timmett and Angus Taylor. I knew then why he did not want to answer me. Everyone is aware of my problems with Angus. Having similar lines of business, there's been a large amount of competition and tension between us. But more than that, Angus is a known criminal. Bastien tried to defend him, saying that no official charges had ever been brought on to Angus. I'm sure he was aware, but I reminded him the only reason that hasn't happened is because he buys off anyone who tries to represent his victims. And if he can't buy them, he has them killed. Why else would he have a hideaway estate? Bastien took that as a chance to get away from my questions, or maybe he wanted to know. He jumped in, asking if I knew where it was, with a certain genuine interest I had not seen out of him this whole meeting. Of Of course I don't, and I told him that. What would be the point of a hideaway if everyone knew where it was? After that, Bastien went quiet, and my leftover anger hung thick in the air. Maybe it was a mistake, but I told him that despite this, I was interested. Not sold, but interested. If he wanted me to join, he would need to pitch the idea again, this time with Noah in the room, and he would be brought into it as well if we both agreed. Bastien didn't seem altogether pleased with these terms, but he did agree to them. We will set another date for this pitch in the future once I can figure out when Noah is available to hear it. Well, you obviously went through with it, but an architectural drawing. The City of Leone. This is it. It exists. Coordinates. The exact location. These must be the coordinates that were given to the people invited to be citizens. Oh, come on. Greatest discovery of your age and you can't find it. There you are. Okay. South. West. South. There you are. An island off the eastern coast of Argentina. 400 years. And the exact location was just sitting in this room. Dated February 3rd, 1601. The pitch to Luke was in 1605. I'd guess Bastien's pitches to the others wasn't long before that, so this is the first architectural drawing Bastien must have made. So, Bastien pitches this idea to all of them. Sometime after 1605, they agree, and they come here and view the drawing together. Probably make minor alterations, so they've all contributed. And then, 6 years later, he calls them all back here to end the fighting. What went on in the middle of all this? The idol? The idol was brought in by a founder at the city's creation, but I don't remember seeing. (1606), my leg of the construction has begun. 1607, citizens were invited in the previous year, but officially the city has not matched our architectural drawings until today. 1608, things going smoothly, though no money coming in yet. 1608, there is no mention of this supernatural idol. The legend said the idol was brought in when the city was initially founded. I guess it shouldn't be a surprise, but it seems certain parts of this legend weren't true. Maybe there was no idol at all. But then why did the city turn to war? 1609. 1611. Idle. July 9th, 1611. Noah has shown me his latest acquisition. This one from a pirate ship he captured and then sank. A solid gold statue, an idol taller than either him or I. Beyond its amazing wealth or inherent beauty, I truly believe this will solve our city's problems. Those that have plagued us for the better part of a year. January 3rd, 1611. More problems. I met with Bastien today. It did not go as I had hoped. It's been 4 years now. The city is functioning and stable. But none of us has seen... Is it just money? None of us has seen any returns on our investments. We keep needing to spend money, to travel to it, to bring food and supplies. Though we have some of the best hunters of the world, the wildlife on the island is not enough to sustain a city. I have spoken with the others and we all agree the city is ready to be unveiled to the world. Even Angus and I agree on this, which certainly means hell will spring forth on the world. It is time to fulfill Bastien's promise of this being a new Silk Road. But when I brought it to him, he lost his temper. He started yelling that it's not finished yet. I asked him when it would be, and he said he didn't know, but that he would know when it was. I've heard this kind of circular talk before from businessmen who were not fit for business. It seems he may have not been fit to build this city. I pushed him to see that even if it wasn't finished in his mind, that we could still reveal its location, begin trading with outside sources, and continue building with the money we drew in. And he went mad. Started shouting that it's not perfect. It cannot be unveiled until it is perfect in his eyes. Then he switched. Started shouting at me about how all of us other founders were worthless. I must assume I'm not the first of us to bring this to his attention. He ranted that he was generous to bring us all in at an even rate. Even more so to me to allow another person into the fold at my request. And yet we wanted say in what direction the city was going to go? I was dumbfounded. That is exactly what we expected, what we were promised by him. I left his home in the city as quickly as I could. I wonder if this has all been a grave mistake. I will speak with the others again tomorrow. Even without Bastien's approval, we all know the location. We can start to spread the word on our own. Though, thinking about it, I can't imagine they'll go along with it. After today, I feel Bastien is capable of tearing down the city if he does not get his way. July 9th. We can frame this idol as the one thing Bastien's been missing. The one thing that will complete the city and prove that it is ready to be open to the world. July 12th. I'm so proud of my Noah. We arrived at Bastien's estate together, but we agreed that he would be the one to pitch the idea. Partially because he has not upset Bastien yet, and partly because he is definitely the better direct salesman of us. He had prepared a speech for this meeting, telling Bastien he had come to offer a gift, one that would cap off the city's construction, symbolize its strength, wealth, prestige, and continued persistence for centuries to come. Then he flung the canvas off the statue, revealing in it a dazzling light. Bastien was smitten. It's been years, but now I believe we will see this city reach its full potential. So, when did it all go wrong? August 17th, 1611. I am a fool. We all were. All that flowery prose by Noah to indicate how strong our city was, it was all lies, and the idol has made it clear. Bastien held an event in the center of the city, stealing Noah's words and presentation, doing everything almost exactly as he had, including the unveiling. It was in the city center for not even a week before it was moved. Someone had tried to steal it. They failed, but they tried. Now Bastien has had it taken into his custody, somewhere inside his sprawling house, or maybe even off the island already. Suspicions of who attempted this theft arose between all of us immediately. Even Noah has payback for Bastien stealing his words. But the most likely culprit in my mind is Oliver Timmins. He remains too calm and quiet during all the events of this city's construction, like he's planning something. Like he's been planning this all since the beginning. Writing this down, I realize I have no evidence beyond my petty suspicions. I fear if the one who attempted this theft is not found soon, it will lead to us founders falling apart. To Eliza Kroll, Jacob Thornsby, my dear aunt, all messages to other people, but no mention of the idol or an attempt to steal it. Wait. Why are these letters here? For all of them. They weren't for any of the other founders. To James Carlyle, we may only have the western corner of the city, but we will take the others. Attempts to negotiate with Angus have fallen apart. I know that the men loyal to us have the greatest strength and wit of the whole city. We will succeed in this, mark my words. P.S. I've noticed signs that my letters have been opened before reaching me. Angus to Dieter, sparrow flies tonight. Postscript. I've noticed markings on my letters before they arrive to me. If you're reading this, Bastien, fuck you. What did you do? Did you start this? There's not much here. I guess that makes sense. Some level of evidence that it was him. He wouldn't be intercepting his own messages. But there's It's just the map. A lead ball. A pistol shot. But why would... Wait. There was something about that in, this guy's letters. Angus to Wilhelm. I do not know how to put this lightly. 6 days ago, a fight broke out between my men and Bastien's in the northern part of the city. I was notified while it was still happening and joined my men in the field. Bastien, it seems, had done the same. I saw him among the ranks. This was the chance I had been waiting for since the start of the city. A chance to end it all. I took aim and fired with my pistol. My shot was straight and true. You have seen firsthand. My aim has always been the most accurate of any of my men. I am certain that I struck Bastien, and yet he never faltered. He kept going. How? That shot should have struck him dead. Did I miss the mark? No. No chance. I had a clear line of sight, and yet Bastien still fought on. Yet he's still here days later. I find myself with little choice but to accept that Bastien is no mere man. A deity. A god of some form. A demigod perhaps, but no mortal. How could I have not seen it sooner? The way Bastien swept into the room when he first approached me about building the city. I was skeptical. Hell, we all were. We've talked about it to each other at length, and yet, in the end, we all agreed to help him. This was supernatural coercion. You know, I have never been a spiritual man. But with one staring me in the face, I find I have little choice but to believe in him and to join him. We can never hope to win against such a being. With my eyes open and them clearly out there, I apologize to the spirits of the men who gave their lives fighting with me for this city, and seek their forgiveness and understanding for my actions in joining Bastien. I am truly sorry, but we must if we wish to survive this. You did this. Because of your war, you intercepted all of their messages. You knew what they were saying about you, what their plans were. And when this guy believes you're more than a man, you know you've won. You don't need to fight through force. You can use his estate, where you all cooked up the city, as a neutral ground, to harp on their nostalgia for a simpler time, and get them to negotiate or bow down. I'm guessing you intentionally put out this original drawing as a way to harken back to a time where you were all more united. These guys were not the grand architects I believed them to be. Just a bunch of conniving backstabbers. But you and your right-hand man didn't make it out. Something went wrong with your plan. The shot? Okay. All right. Ah! There's no bullet hole. The rest of his skeleton is disintegrated or taken off by animals, so it could have been a body shot. But then why are the rest of them here? Something's missing. Something doesn't add up. Where you can't just the... Different handwriting. This must be Bastien's. Dated October 10th, 1611. So 2 days before this meeting. This letter may serve as an attempt to get any of you who survive to understand. I have tried to prepare a perfect plan, but if I've been taught anything from the city, it's that I can never truly predict what is going to happen. I tried to guide all of you as to how the city should be shaped, but you rebelled against me. It was I intercepted all of your messages. From the moment you've set foot in the city. Over the years I have learned you always benefit from knowing what everyone is doing, even your allies. When the city came to war, I knew every move you were going to make. And more importantly, that Angus came to believe of me as more than a man. But if you've survived, if you're reading this, then you will know I am merely a man. During our firefight, I was struck by Angus's shot, but the bloodlust flowing through me prevented me from feeling any of it. I fought on until that battle was over. It was only after things settled down and I was in the safety of my home that I began to feel the pain, notice the blood coming from my side. Being examined by my medical officer, he told me that I will die from this. Not immediately, not even in the short term, but I will die a slow and likely painful death. For the shot has lodged itself in my body, in a place that is not critical, but will result in a slow shutting down of organs. So that's where the shot came from. It was lodged in his body, and as it rotted away, it fell out. When I learned of Angus's beliefs in me as a god, I was struck with a plan, though I had to move quickly. I know of Oliver's intentions, but I cannot focus on that now. I will have to leave that to my men. With Angus believing me to be more than a man, I could not give him the chance to change his mind, or realize otherwise. Or let you all see our union as a rallying cry to combine your forces. I intended on killing us all. This is my city, not yours. I came up with all the plans. I pitched the idea. I provided almost all the resources and funding. You were all just accessories. And then you want equal say in what direction my city goes? Hell no. But now I am dying. And when I'm gone, you'll have control over it. The very thing I've worked so hard to prevent. No. I will kill all of the founders, including myself. If I can't have my city, then no one can. Well, He succeeded, but how? Other pistols? It doesn't look like there's anything else here anymore. But the chamber was sealed. The notebook's still here, the lead shot. What if you sent out this invitation with the express intent of gathering them all here? You give some grand opening speech about the strength of Leone, how it can only continue its existence if you're all united, so on and so forth. Then you pour out a drink for all of them, including yourself. Probably you first. All from the same bottle. Poisoned. The entire time you do this, the bottle is fully visible. No tricks, no sleight of hand. Finishing pouring out the drinks, you raise for a toast. The others hesitate. Maybe not Angus. They're not stupid. They're all skeptical. Have been since you first pitched this idea to them. Seeing this, you drink first. You're already dying. It doesn't matter to you. Once the moment passes and nothing happens, they all do the same. Unaware that just like that, all of them were dead, including yourself. These were some of the greatest visionary minds of their time, and all of them died in this room for something so petty and pointless. But then why didn't your disappearances attract attention? All 5 of you gone at once, it would have raised flags. These were not young men. And because of this secret city being unknown to anyone outside of their closest circle, large gaps of their later life are missing from the record. It's why they were theorized to be the founders in the first place. If they were gone for months or more than a year several times and were unwilling to explain to anyone in their employ where they had gone during that time, then I guess it wouldn't be considered terribly mysterious if they just disappeared altogether. Well, your bodies are still here, but that means this city should still exist at these coordinates. Wait. I know of Oliver's intentions. To Darrell from Oliver. All of the founders have been invited to Angus's manor on behalf of Bastien. He has clearly won over Angus. I do not believe I will be able to get the others to join with me. If we cannot come to some sort of agreement, we will have no choice but to accept whatever terms he gives, if he gives any. I am skeptical of this invitation. I'm sure we all are. But I know we all long to go back to the days where we were unified in our goal to build this city. Something he claims we can do at this meeting. That longing for the past is what is driving me towards accepting the invitation. I have little doubt it is doing the same to the others. In the event my concerns are correct and this turns nasty, I have orders for you. If we do not return in 2 weeks' time, drive the people out of the city through any means necessary. Sell off the wood and stone and iron, anything you can get your hands on. We may as well get something out of our investment. As a backup, a copy of this letter is being delivered to loyal men in England. If Bastien manages to snag this one, perhaps he will fail in getting the others. Well, he certainly got this one. I'm not seeing any others. If Bastien had managed to get the other letter, it definitely would have been here. He would not skip on a chance to gloat to Oliver that plans he had were toast. And the founders died in this room and did not return. Oliver's men did exactly what he asked. They drove the people out of the city and tore it down. Leone does not exist anymore. 400 years. And that's why no one could find it. Which is why, when the citizens returned several years later to begin again, they found nothing, despite knowing the exact location. Considering the time period, they blamed it on some magic idol. There was no magic in this idol that wiped their memories. It was just some hunk of gold that was gone as well. We're all searching for a city that no longer exists. And I guess that's that. What do I tell everyone else? The press are waiting for an announcement from me when I return. I guess I shouldn't have told them I would be coming back with the location. I was so certain. I entered this room giddy and full of hope, wonder. Not just for this discovery, but for that lost city out there, proof that it was still out there. And now I know it's not. And just like that, a bit of the world's magic is gone. At least, for me. But can I take it away from them? Well, I have a long flight ahead of me. I can decide on there. I'll leave everything as it was, like I never found it. This estate is still intact. Why was the chamber sealed? I'm not the first one to come here, am I? Someone else or several others know the truth. And I thought I was so unique and clever. They didn't reveal it then. It would be wrong for me to reveal it now. Others deserve to believe in something bigger than what this world has to offer. I'll keep it secret. I'll have to delete the video when I get back, but until then, I'll seal the chamber again. On to the next.